Get ready for a story that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's very, very real. We're going to explore a moment that could literally redefine our future, and not just for AI, but for how we humans discover new things about our universe.
So picture this, January 2026. While we were all just living our lives, something incredible was happening behind the scenes. It wasn't front-page news, but in the quiet, abstract world of pure mathematics, an AI did something no human had ever been able to do.
And this really gets to the core question, right? It's the whole point of what we're talking about today. Can an AI really solve a problem that the smartest people on the planet have been stuck on for generations? Well, as it turns out, the answer is a huge, resounding yes.
So what exactly went down? An AI system, completely on its own, cooked up a formal proof for a notoriously difficult math problem. And we're not talking about just crunching numbers here, no. This was genuine, creative, out-of-the-box thinking.
The hero of our story is actually a kind of dynamic duo. You add GPT 5.2 Pro, which is the super creative language model, and it came up with a big idea. Then you had a logic system called Aristotle, which took that idea and turned it into a bulletproof, rock-solid proof. And the mountain they decided to climb? The legendary Erdős problem number 728.
Now, to really get how big of a deal this is, you have to understand where this problem came from, okay? This was not just some random brain teaser from a textbook. This came from the mind of an absolute legend. We're talking about Paul Erdős. This guy was a total rock star in the math world. A wandering genius who basically lived out of a suitcase, collaborating with hundreds of other mathematicians. And he left behind this amazing legacy, a treasure chest full of unsolved problems, each one a dare to future generations.
And this just nails it. The thing about Erdős's problems is that they often sound so simple. You could explain the basic idea to a high schooler, but trying to actually solve them? Whoa, that was a whole different story. They were like elegant traps for the brilliant. And if you could solve one, you earned some serious bragging rights.
All right, so let's get into it. What was the specific riddle, problem number 728, all about? Don't worry, we're going to break it down without getting tangled up in a bunch of crazy equations. So, at its heart, the problem deals with factorials. You know, like 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. The problem asks about a special relationship between 3 numbers, and specifically, how far apart you can pull them while a very picky rule about their factorials still works.
The best way to think about it is like a super delicate balancing act. The goal is to find numbers that have a massive gap between them, a ridiculously, exponentially huge gap, without breaking this one little intricate rule. It's like trying to find one specific atom in a universe-sized haystack.
And this is where it gets really, really cool. How in the world did the AI even start to think about this? It didn't just throw a bunch of processing power at it. No, this was all about strategy, insight, and a really clever trick.
The AI's game plan was just beautiful. First, it did something totally genius. It reframed the whole riddle. It translated it from the language of factorials into a different language of binomial coefficients. This gave it a fresh angle. Then, it looked at this new problem through the lens of prime numbers, one by one. And finally, it went on a hunt for super special, super rare numbers that had just the right properties. And that hunt boiled down to this one brilliant idea. It needed to find numbers that were, and I absolutely love this phrase, carry-rich but spike-free. Basically, carry-rich is all the good stuff, the properties that help you build the proof. And spike-free means you avoid all the bad stuff, the mathematical potholes that would wreck the whole thing.
This visual right here explains it perfectly. Okay, see that wavy blue line? That's the good stuff, the carries you need. Now look at that spiky red line. Those are the spikes, the problems you have to avoid. The AI's mission was to find a magic number where, for every single prime number out there, that spiky red line always stayed safely underneath the blue line. It was an all-or-nothing condition. But hey, the story doesn't just end with a neat little math proof. Oh no. A very human, very modern drama started to play out in real time as this discovery hit the world.
Things moved at an absolutely dizzying speed. On January 4th, the AI drops its first proof. But the human experts jump in and say, wait a minute, there's a little ambiguity here. So the very next day, they challenge the AI with a tougher version of the problem. And incredibly, by January 6th, the AI had completely reworked its argument and delivered the final airtight proof. Just wow.
Now, for a hot second, there was some confusion. Everyone wanted to know, did a human expert give it a little nudge to get to that final answer? Because if so, it's not a truly autonomous discovery. But that was cleared up fast. The answer was a firm no. The AI got there all on its own.
And this was the moment that sealed the deal. This was the mic drop. Terence Tao, we're talking about a living legend in mathematics. He reviewed the whole process and gave it his stamp of approval. He confirmed it was autonomous, and that was it. The consensus was in. The AI had solved it.
So, why does a single, super tricky math problem matter so much? Well, because this isn't just about math. This signals a massive shift in how we might uncover the secrets of the universe.
This really is a peek into the future. It shows us that an AI can be more than just a tool, more than a fancy calculator. It can be a true creative partner. Just imagine an AI helping us discover new medicines or finding new ways to create clean energy. All those problems we once thought were impossible to solve, they might just be within our reach now.
And that leaves us with one final, just tantalizing question. Now that an AI has conquered a legendary problem from the great Paul Erdős, what's next? What huge human mystery in science, in medicine, in the very fabric of reality is it going to solve for us next?